Right. So it's just to see if you've got any further questions about the teaching practice calendar, and then I mean we've still got a bit of time for the teaching practice, because you don't have to actually teach until October the 2nd, which is next Wednesday. So you've got a whole week. And then we'll talk about speaking skills. With the speaking skills, there's going to be some concepts, but also lots of practical activities for you to try. All right. Well, let's just have a quick check. Ah. So Siona talked to you about this, right? And Liliana and Emmanuel, you know that you're going to be teaching next week. Yeah. And have you had a look at had a chance to look at the materials? You know that you're using Cutting Edge Starter. You click on that link there and it takes you to the material. Yeah, no props.
No, we didn't see this.
You didn't see this?
No.
No,
Okay.
within the previous class, we didn't review this.
Okay, I'll send you the calendar then. There you go. So please download it and save it. So on October the 2nd, Liliana and Emmanuel will be teaching. So I think
Hello,
it's
sorry for that. I was in the bathroom. Sorry.
it's all right. Okay. But you've all got the teaching calendar now. There you go. So you're going to be using the presentation practice and production framework. And it's this, that, and those. So these are what we call determiners. And Liliana, you're going to be covering prepositions place. So see if you can go to this link and download the material. Now, when you click on the link, you get this. Oh, not that. There we go. So the main one is the student's book. Okay. Make sure you download that to your computer. But it's also a good idea to have the teacher's guide as well ready. Teacher's guide is this one here, TB. Oh no, that's the workbook. That's no good, is it? Here it is. This is the teacher's guide. This will help you, give you answers to the activities and so on. As you're looking at the material, I strongly recommend that you find the corresponding pages on the teacher's guide. And follow the instructions. Let me just get the lesson plan. Basic lesson plan. We need IHC. As you're planning your lesson, going to need this lesson plan template.
Oh, a question, teacher. You are going to share with us that. Okay, thank you.
All right, there you go. All right. And is it because it's presents, practice, produce? You need those three. I mean, you may wish to have a lead in at the beginning. Lead in is like an introduction. Like this. Produce. Now, you've only got 40 minutes for the whole thing, right? So I would recommend maybe 3 to 4 minutes for the first. Maybe 10 to 12 minutes for present. Maybe 10 minutes for practice and another 10 for that. So, yeah, maybe a bit more for that then. 5, 12 to 15. And that should take you over to about 40 minutes. And the times, suggested times in there. Try to put in a main aim. So for Emmanuel, his main aim will be to present and practice the determiners. In the context of food. And a subsidiary aim was probably going to be speaking fluency, because you'll need to get the students using the language, using speaking. And think about some possible assumptions about the students. And some anticipated problems that you might have. So maybe the students are not familiar with some of these Google tools that you might use. So they might need a little bit of guidance or training. and how to use them. Right, so let's have a look at Emmanuel's material here. Now this is from the Cutting Edge Starter, and it's page 27, isn't it? Well, I think you could pretty much follow the instructions here. 5, listen and circle the correct words in the conversations. You could get them to practice the conversations. And A, B, and C. A, B, C, and D are the ones, right? The context is they're all like tourists shopping. Right. So this is to give them, the students, some context so they can see why the reason for using the language in these situations. And then you can work on the grammar. That's part of the presentation, right? All of 5 is the presentation, including this box here. If you're not too familiar, it's a good idea to look at the language summary on page 114. It will give you some more ideas. So let's have a look at that. 14. Okay, so you could use these diagrams to help you see and see, to help teach the meaning of the determiners. Back to 27.
Should I use that page, or
Yeah.
do I
Yeah.
have to create
Yeah.
my own material?
No, you should use the material and adapt it to the online environment.
Okay.
Because it's going to be tricky enough. So don't use your own material. Use this material, but try and adapt it. Try and think of interactive activities the students could do. Right? Maybe you could have these on like on some sort of Jamboard, and then they could themselves circle the words. So try and make it as learner-centered as possible, so you're not explaining everything, right?
Okay.
Now the practice is this one, 6A.
And I have to invite some students.
Yes, please. Yeah. Okay, and then try and think of a freer activity, a fluency activity for the production. This is 6A is fine for practice because it's kind of controlled. See if you can find a more interactive one. Something a bit freer for the production that will get them to use these determiners. Possible. So you've got a whole week to think about it. Any questions?
How many time do we have? 40 minutes?
40
or-
minutes. 40 minutes, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's move on to Liliana then. Prepositions. And the context is going to be places around town. So in the lead in and the first part, it might be a good idea to try to put names to these different places in the pictures. Like that's obviously a park, there's a bank, a hotel. But the main work here is going to be for. So you're teaching prepositions of place, Liliana. Again, try to use the materials that are given. Could you invent some sort of interactive activity, like a Jamboard where they have to match the prepositions with the diagrams? Aye. So 4A, 4B is the presentation part along with the map. You're going to have to use the map. And have a look at page 18, if necessary, on a vocabulary book. Don't think we've got the vocabulary book. Anyway, number 5 is going to be your control practice. And number 7 is your freer practice. Although you may wish to do number 6 before doing number 7, because this will give them some more, this will prepare them a little bit for the freer practice, for the production activity, right? This is quite a good one. This is the final P, right? So the first P is for presentation. The practice is going to be 5, and then the production is 6 and 7. Any questions?
No.
All right. So as not to take too much time from our input session, it's probably a good idea if we let Tanya prepare Gloria and Andrea for their TPs on October the 7th. But I'll just point out what the material is, just so you can just check. you can be having a look at it before Monday. But Tanya will ask you on Monday, Andrea and Gloria, are you ready to go? So 3 and 4, you're doing, Andrea, you're doing there is, there are, and Gloria's doing object pronouns. So 32. There is, there are. You've got this nice picture. And yeah, it would be a good idea to do number 1. Number 2 and 3 is part of the presentation. This box here is part of the presentation as well. And number 5 looks like the practice. And the production could be this speaking task here. Gloria's doing page 49. And you've got object pronouns. So 3 and the box is the presentation. 4 is the practice. 5 is going to be the production. Gloria. Yeah?
Okay.
But you can ask Tanya on Monday if you've got any further questions about that.
Okay.
All right, let's make a move towards the speaking skills then. So we're going to do a little bit of work on terminology that's important for speaking. So I'd like Gloria and Liliana, please, to work on this Jamboard and match the terms fluency, interaction, accuracy, function, and appropriacy to their definitions. And Andrea, don't have Virginia today, so it's just going to be Emmanuel. You're going to be B. I'll give you the links now. Important terminology for TKT, of course. So I'll put you into breakout rooms and you can talk together and try and match them. See if you can come to an agreement. All right. Okay. Few minutes. Shouldn't take you long. Let's begin. Emmanuel, please join. Thanks. So I'll be asking you to open your handbook at Unit 12. The page is in my book is 57, but it's Unit 12, Developing Productive Skills 1. Okay, so you did that correctly. That's going to set us up for this next activity. So please open your trainee handbook at Unit 12, Developing Productive Skills 1. Uh,
Once again, I'm trying to find the page because it's
yes.
like a
Where is the
Just
page, please?
rather than look at the page, look at the unit.
Okay, thank
12.
you.
For
Yeah,
us, is the page 59.
thank you.
Thank you, Lily.
okay, so the task here is to look at the things that people do when they speak and match them to any of the categories in the table below. You can go into multiple categories, right? So, for example, pronounce words. Well, that's probably going to be into connected speech, right? Because that's an aspect of pronunciation. But what about answer questions? Where would that go?
Interaction, because you need another person to answer questions, no?
You do indeed, yes. It has to be more than one person, yeah? You're a questioner and an answerer. Hmm. So you've got quite a few others. Please write your answers on the handbook, and I'll ask you to give me some feedback at the end. I'll put you into the same breakout rooms for you to do this together.
Yes.
Let me give you about 6 minutes this time. 7, to be generous. There we go. All right. Now, if we're able to, could we compare what our work? So, Emmanuel, could you share with us that your table that you've just done?
Yes, of course. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first one, pronounce words.
Yeah.
It is in features of cognitive speech. And
Correct.
then the second one, answer questions. It goes with interaction. Then use information. I'm sorry, use information.
Uh-huh.
That will be no, I don't know where it goes.
Well, let's just ask them, Gloria and Liliana, do you agree with their answers? Did you have any differences?
Yes, we have.
Yes.
Tell us what differences you had.
For
Um,
example, we have grammar and vocabulary, correct themselves,
Yeah.
tell stories, respond appropriately, and use tenses.
Ah.
And on functions, for example, yes, we put persuade
Yeah.
only. And in features, we just put use information.
Mhm.
And in appropriacy, change the context or the style. In body language,
Yeah, that makes sense. That's
but that is the
correct.
only thing that we have
Yeah.
there, change the content.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Body language is the same. In interaction, for us, we put yes, also answer questions. In here, for example, answer questions, clarifications, ask for give information, part in discussion, and take part in a conversation.
Right. Great. Okay. Well, you can see from that there are the different factors that are important for speaking, aren't there? And you may have been surprised to see that interaction was so important, right? So being good at speaking skills implies really a good being good at interaction. Can you think of someone you know who is not a good communicator? Can you think of anyone you know who is not a good communicator? Can you tell us why this person's communication is not effective?
But like a public person?
Well, anyone you know. I mean, it could be a colleague, someone you work with. Do you know someone at work who is not in your job, who is not a good communicator? I mean, you don't have to name that person because, go ahead, Andrea.
Yes, when I was working on TV and sports and all of that, I have a boss that that he tell us the information at the moment. And then like you have to do that. But now and we have to, oh my God, we have to plan the spots, and obviously if we are on TV, the program, the schedule and all of that stuff. So he tell us at the moment we have to do, because it's very it's always an emergency. So I think he was a very bad boss, but don't tell him. Very bad
But
boss.
was he a bad communicator then?
Yes, because we need time to prepare all that, and he told us at the moment.
Okay. So maybe he didn't listen to people's concerns, right?
Yes, and after
And
that,
that's part of being a good communicator, isn't it? It's like
yes,
listening to people and showing you're interested in what they're saying.
yes, and after that, if we have problems or something like that, he be angry with us.
Huh.
So it's like, oh my God, really? Don't work on TV or something like that,
Yeah,
please.
if you're a bad communicator. All right, I'm going to stop sharing this.